Jesus' betrayal and arrest. All right. And while he yet spoke, lo, Judas, one of the 12, came, and with him a great multitude with swords and clubs from the chief priests and elders of the people. Now he that betrayed him gave them a sign, saying, Whomever I shall kiss, that same is he, hold him fast. Verse number 49. Verse number 49. And forthwith he came to Jesus and said, Hail, Master, and kissed him. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Betrayal by someone you know. How many are familiar with that? And he kissed him, and he had told him already what he's going to do and who to identify and what to do with him. And Jesus said unto him, Friend, why art thou come? Then came they and laid hands on Jesus and took him. Oh, man. Betrayed by a friend. Violence is not a wise choice. And behold, one of those whom were with Jesus stretched out his hand and drew his sword and struck a servant of the high priest and smote off his ear. One of God's prophets cut off the ear of one of the soldiers or one of the people that come to take Jesus in custody. And behold, one of those whom were with Jesus stretched out his hand and drew his sword and struck a servant of the high priest and smote off his ear. Cut his ear off. Then Jesus said, verse 52, Then Jesus said unto him, Put up again thy sword into its place, for all they that take the sword shall perish with the sword. Listen, listen, listen. Violence is not a wise choice. Put again thy sword into that place, for all that take up the sword shall perish with the sword. Verse number 53. Verse number 52. That's the last verse that we just got through reading. Then said Jesus unto him, Put up again the sword into that place, for all that take up the sword shall perish with the sword. All right. The vast scope of solemn wisdom. The vast scope of Solomon's wisdom. 1 Kings 4, 29 and 34. 1 Kings 4, 29 through 34. Let us turn to 1 Kings. First Kings 4. 1 Kings 4. And it reads, 1 Kings 4, 29. 29. And it reads, The wisdom of Solomon, his great renown. Solomon, we know who Solomon is. That's David and Bathsheba's son. Let us begin. He is the one that whom God allowed to build the temple in which David wanted to build. And we know very well why God did not want David to build that temple, because David, many wars and situations which he had got in, had blood on his hands. All right, let us continue. Here we go. Verse number 29, the wisdom of Solomon and his great renown. All right, when they say his wisdom is great and renowned, that means well known, okay? And God gave Solomon wisdom and very much understanding, the largest of heart, even as the sand that is on the seashore. Oh, he has a lot of wisdom. How many can number the sands on the seashore? Verse number 30. And Solomon's wisdom excelled the wisdom of all the children of the east country and all the wisdom of Egypt. Let's go to verse number 31. For he was wiser than all men, than Ethan the Israelite, and Herman, and Calcol, and Darda, the sons of Mihal, and his fame was in all nations round about. And he spoke 3,000 proverbs, and his songs were of thousands and five. And he spake of trees, from the cedar tree that is in Lebanon, even unto the hyssop, the strength out of the wall, that springeth out of the wall. And he spoke also of beasts, and of fowl, and of creeping things, and of fish. And verse number 34, the final one in regards to the wisdom of Solomon. And there came from all people to hear the wisdom of Solomon, from all kings of the earth, who had heard of his wisdom. Oh, you pray and ask God for things. Ask him for wisdom. Ask him for wisdom to understand, be prudent, to know how you deal with situations, how to deal with racism, how to deal with many other things in this life, how to deal with being in danger, how to deal with the battle of sin, and how to flee from sin, temptation when it is tempting you, really, because you are being tempted from within. All right, let's go to Proverbs, the 4th chapter, verses 1 through 9. Prize wisdom and insight. Prize wisdom and insight. Proverbs 4, 1 through 9. Proverbs 4, 1 through 9. Proverbs 4. Let us turn. Proverbs 4, 1 through 9. Prize wisdom and insight. Proverbs 4, 1 through 9. Let us begin. Proverbs 4, 1 through 9. The Proverbs of Solomon. The purpose of the book, fatherly exhortation, addresses mainly to the young. We want to say something here. There are a lot of young people in the streets of America right now, this very minute, as we speak here. They are expressing their outrage at the death of Floyd by the hands of the policeman with his knee on his neck. And they are expressing their revolt of that, rejection of that, and looking for answers and out protesting. Let us begin. The Proverbs of Solomon. The Proverbs of Solomon, the son of David, king of Israel, to know wisdom and instruction, to perceive the words of understanding. Number 3, to receive the instruction of wisdom, righteousness, and justice, and equality, and equity, to give prudence to the simple, to the young man, knowledge and discretion. A wise man will hear and will increase learning, and a man of understanding shall obtain unto wise counsel. To understand a proverb and the interpretations of the word of the wise and their dark sayings. That's 1 through 4. Okay, that was 1 through 4. Well, that was up to 1 through 6. All right. Let's go to 4. Let's go to 7, 8, and 9. And it reads, wisdom foundation, the fear of the Lord. Oh, number 1, wisdom foundation. Number 1, fear of the Lord. That's number 1, fear of the Lord. That's the foundation of wisdom. It rests upon that. It's the wisdom of the Lord. Verse 7. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instructions. My son, hear the instructions of thy father, and forsake not the law of thy mother. 9. For they shall be an ornament of grace unto thy head, and chains about thy neck. Verses 7 and 8. Wisdom, the foundation is the fear of the Lord. 7 and 8. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. 8. My son, hear the instructions of thy father, and forsake not the law of thy mother. All right. 10 and 11. My son, if sinners entice thee, consent thou not. How many of those people that were out on the street protesting, when those that were breaking windows and stealing and going into stores and setting fires and shooting people, have the wisdom to not listen to those that were with him? There were more than one or two doing that. That was a group. That was a gang. There was a number of people in cahoots in what they were doing. And they're telling you, do not be enticed. My son, if sinners entice thee, consent thou not. Don't buy into it. Verse 11. If thou say, come with us, let us lay wait for blood. That is what they were doing when they killed policemen and killed other people and shot up different things and shooting weapons and stuff. That was what they done. If they say, come with us, let us lay wait for blood. Let us lurk secretly for the innocent without cause. Without cause. Oh, I listen to the news and media, and many of you listen to the news and media. And Fox News, they loved that. That was just what they wanted to preach and proclaim. That all of the folks out there marching and doing different stuff, even though it was not the majority of the people, they were out there for a good reason, or protest the death of Floyd. But there was some among them that was lurking and laying wait for blood. That was lurking secretly for the innocent without cause. There were some doing that. Fox News loved that. And it was actually true from what they were doing, too. Some of them were doing just that. But the good part of what was being taken place was being overshadowed by the evil ones within their midst. I'm reminded briefly what God has laid on my heart now. You remember how God says that the deceiver comes and, you go out and you do things good, and the deceiver will come unbeknown to you and usurp and put bad things in your good intentions and what is taking place. You go out there to feed folks, and then on the other hand, there's somebody out there stealing the food and hurting the people that you're trying to feed. Satan is a deceiver and a liar. He will come among us and deceive us and sow seeds of dissensions and different things like that. We know how that goes in the church where we attend every day in different situations. The pastor can get up and tell us the word, but there'll be somebody in the church already plotting some kind of way to make it look bad or make that not happen or whatever. That's the way Satan is. He's a deceiver and a liar. You be trying to do good, but Satan, the deceiver, be sowing evil. All right, let's go to verses 20 and 22. Verses 20 and 22. That was 10 and 11. Verses 20 and 22. And it reads, Wisdom warning. Wisdom cries outside. She utters her voice in the street. Oh, wisdom was out there while they were destroying and burning and tearing up stuff. Wisdom was with those that were marching and carrying signs saying Black Lives Matter and love and all those things like that. 21. She cries in the chief places of concourse in the